Hey, I'm Bex Allen, and this is a vlog series that I started filming in June 2019. It follows my journey that I went through coming off psychiatric medication for bipolar disorder. There's the ups, the downs, how I did it, and now I'm celebrating being drug-free me. And this is a bid for me to show the world that there is another way. Yesterday, I was having one of those it's not fair days. I think that, I suppose everybody has it's not fair days. It's not fair about something in our lives. I was having it's a not fair day that I have a mental illness. And it wasn't like a woe is me. It was just like, goodness me, God damn it, if I didn't have this, what would my life be like if I didn't have to worry about thinking about like emotional regulation, basically. So the amount of effort I put in on a daily basis for emotional regulation can be exhausting. Some days exhausting. And I did say this to a friend, and she did say to me, but you're forgetting about the good days. You know, you do have good days. And of course I do. I have really good days. And maybe it's just because I'm going through this process that I'm being really, really mindful, because I still have life that has to go on. I still am working with clients. I have my children, like I was talking about in the school holidays. I don't really want this to affect everybody. Well, I want it to keep it to a minimum. So I'm really keeping on top of my feelings and really focusing on what emotions as they come up and what I can do about them. So sometimes it's just that thing that Abraham Hick says, find a better feeling thought. Find a better feeling thought. You know, sometimes just pull out a little bit further and think about something in a little bit more general sense. Or it might be doing some tapping to release an energy that, you know, if it's anxiety that I'm feeling. But I'm constantly doing this stuff. And I just thought, what would it be like to not have that? And anyway, last night I had a bath. I love my baths, nice and relaxing. I'd been doing lots of physical work, so it was really lovely. And while I was in the bath, I found an Abraham Hicks thing to listen to. I like every now and then tapping into something like that, bit of inspiration and kind of just keeping ourselves grounded. And I've never listened to Abraham Hicks's opinions around or thoughts on mental illness. So I thought, oh, well, you know, this is the day. I have I typed in Abraham Hick's mental illness into YouTube and ended up listening to a couple of them. And one of them was about bipolar. And it was really interesting how this guy was talking about how bipolar's kind of ruined his life. He's been in jail and he's, you know, ruined relationships. And yeah, bipolar can do these things to us. And it makes us do things, or we can do things that we really regret. And I've had a huge amount of that in my life. So anyway, so he was kind of saying, well, how do I turn it off? How do I turn it off? I don't want to have this. And she was saying, Esther was speaking for Abraham, saying that, you know, that this is such a gift. You were a gift, and you were born with this powerful energy that, yes, it does go into mania, and she doesn't like talking about mania, or it can go the other way. And I'm not going to sit here and try and explain how it was worded, because it was worded so well. But it actually turned my mind around. And, you know, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that I hopped in the bath and listened to that and found that very one for the very reason of just being reminded that I am still a gift. And what, you know, having had a mental illness, there's so many ways that we can look at it. Some days I'm like, oh, it's just mindset. I'm gonna get rid of this. And other days I think this micronutrients that I'm taking is going to take place of my medication, and I'm going to be drug free, but on the micronutrients, and maybe I'll be on the micronutrients forever. I don't know. Or maybe it's just going to repair all my cells and I'm going to be, Wonder Woman. Who knows? But actually what I learned last night was about just accepting me for me now, accepting where I'm at now, just now, accepting it and saying it's okay. And I think I gained quite a lot of acceptance actually around the ups. Like person who has when you get into hypomania, there are little alarm bells that go off in your mind about, certain behaviours happen. For me, I become quite hypersexualized, and that's often just like the first step of noticing that that I'm elevated. But in fact, I learnt last night from Abraham that, one of the most powerful things about a person who has bipolar, and when they get into these elevated moods, is the ability to focus on something. And I think I may have spoken about this before, about when I've started my salon, and that I just didn't even think twice about it. I just did it. I just went ahead and did it, because I wasn't thinking that along any other line apart from just it being a success. And it was a success. And I do go get an idea and I do go for it. And now I'm going to embrace that, because perhaps that will be part of who I am forevermore, beyond this coming off medication. And, I can't wait to see I don't know, I keep finding, who am I going to be? Well, how is it going to be? How am I going to feel? What am I going to be like when I've finished this, when I've come off the drugs and everything's sort of evened out? What am I going to be like? It's exciting. Can't wait. Anyway, today's a good day. Talk to you soon.